So hello, everyone. It's great to have you with us tonight. And this particular group, Creating Change Agents in Workplaces and Community, is all about personal and professional development, and it has focus on mindset, communication, and leadership skills. And the values that this group particularly promotes is inclusivity, equality, leadership, authenticity, collaboration, respect, and sustainability, both environmental and personal. My name is Anya, and some of you may know that I'm a migrant. I'm a cultural hybrid. I call myself a Russozi, half Russian, half Australian. I'm a practitioner of neurolinguistic programming, hypnosis, behavioral analysis, an abbreviation EDISC, and I work both with people one-on-one and groups of people. I'm passionate about helping people to get the most out of their life and their career by making the desired changes in sustainable and practical way. And I host these weekly meetings as a result of this inspiration of mine. So just a couple of housekeeping items. So this session is recorded for educational purposes only. And during the session, please use the chat box for any questions, comments, or issues. I will be watching the chat box. And if there are any difficulties, technical difficulties arise, or for example, internet drops out, please feel free to log back again. We'll be very happy to see you. And at the end of the session, with your permission, of course, we would love to take a screenshot of people who have attended this meeting. So today we have a very special guest presenter. It is Patty Jin, and it is my privilege and honor to have Patty with us tonight and to give her an introduction. Patty is a very authentic and dynamic presenter. She's the founder of the company called Impact You, and Patty provides special interview coaching services and helps international and local graduates to land their dream jobs through soft skills training. So for example, only this year, particularly during the challenging global times, Patty helped her clients receive offers from different firms all at the same time. And she also successfully held workshops for the biggest private accounting firm. And she helped with their training on soft skills. So yes, it is my privilege and honor to introduce Patty Jin, and now I would love to hand over to Patty. Thank you. Patty, please unmute.
So thank you very much for attending this webinar. I'm very excited to be here, and I'm just going to share the screen with you now, and let's get started. Okay. So today's, so everything is all good? Yeah. So today's workshop will be focused towards how to win your interview by speaking from a place of authenticity and persuasion, and how to receive offers by actually telling a story rather than memorizing the interview scripts. So today, I wanted to congratulate everyone for being here. You guys are already winners for, carving out a bit of your time to come and, get a fresh perspective on how things could be done effectively. So I'm very, very grateful to do this for you, and I will deliver the best workshop for you. So the agenda today is really simple. We're going to be understanding the winning mindset. So we're going to be distinguishing, the difference between a normal candidate versus a value provider. And then we will also use this framework to understand how to effectively answer your questions. And at the end of this workshop, if we have some time left, we're going to be doing a mock interview sessions where you can ask me any interview questions and I will answer to you as a candidate. So this will be very spontaneous, and yeah. So to start this workshop, I wanted to quote from Lao Tzu's book, Tao Te Ching. And one of his quote is, "Knowing others is intelligence, but knowing yourself is true wisdom." And what do I mean by that? I feel like a lot of people kind of try to create an image of themselves to present in interviews. And even though it might have worked for you in the past, I still believe that knowing what your strength is, but also embracing your weakness all at the same time, is the most effective way to build emotional bonding and long-term relationship with relevant people in your industry. So for example, who here knows of the concept of subconscious programming? Anybody know the concept of subconscious programming? Anyone? If you do, please type in yes. If you don't, please type in no. So have you got some answers?
Yes, we do. Some don't.
Yeah. So for those that know what subconscious programming, that's great. And for those that don't know, what I mean by subconscious programming is that probably 80 to 90% of all the actions that you execute starts from a place of subconscious belief systems, meaning that in order for you to write an effective resume or cover letter or communicate your story from a place of power in your interview, you need to have the right subconscious programming. And this picture demonstrates that idea through planting the right seed into your own mind. Because the quality of the seed that you plant into your own mind will dictate the quality of the tree that you grow in your reality. So all the systems that you believe in your mind will dictate how well your resume goes through, how you connect with people, and how they will think of you after you leave the session. So for this purpose, I'm going to give you 2 examples, one from Bob the Chaser versus Jill the Attractor. So Bob the Chaser is somebody who is subconscious programming. So Bob the Chaser is a person that goes along the lines of, he has some self-doubt. He's not 100% sure if he could execute his ideas properly in the job interview. So this is how the interview would likely go. So let's say Bob gets a call from Macquarie Bank, and this is the dialogue between the HR and Bob. So the HR says, "Hi Bob, this is Pat calling from Macquarie Bank." And then Bob says, "Hi, sorry, from what company again?" And then the HR says, "Macquarie Bank." And then Bob goes, "Oh yeah, I do remember that. Oh no, how do I continue?" Then the HR goes, "Well, do you actually remember that you applied here?" And Bob goes on and think a bit, and he remembers, yes, of course, he does remember, but he doesn't know what to say next. And then the HR says again, "Well, okay, so can you tell me something about the company and the position that you applied for?" And then Bob goes, I'm trying to think of what to say first and what to say last. And eventually the HR hangs up because he feels that Bob is not very certain with his message and he doesn't want the job that much. So who here has experienced something like this, where you get at a phone interview and then you're not really sure what to say next and you stumble? Anybody? Yes? No? If you ever experienced this, please put your hand up. Yes? Yeah. And this is something that is very normal. It is something that goes on by the concept of the cause and effect relationship. So the effect of this is that Bob is not prepared for an unscheduled phone interview. So if this is the effect, what do you think the cause of this is? Anybody know what the cause of this is? So the cause of this is that Bob does not actually remember who he sent his resume out to. Meaning that because he doesn't remember exactly who he's supposed to be communicating with, since his resume is actually not specialized towards the person he's going to communicate with, he doesn't know how to answer in a way that positions himself as the value provider for that company. Because how is he talking to himself? He's saying, how do I get them to trust me? What if I screw up? Will they be very serious with me? Or will they like my answer? Or what if I fail again? Or that person's English is so much better than my English. Or things like, will I get the job today? Or even, will the interviewer like me? Now, if somebody talks like this constantly in their mind, how do you think the result will be when he tries to communicate with his interviewer? Anyone have an idea? You can type your answers down below. Anybody?
We have answer from Riaz. It says poor. If for example, if someone has the answer and then they would like to answer, feel free to unmute yourself and give the answer.
You can unmute yourself as well. So anybody?
So Riaz says it's poor.
Yes, poor. Definitely, because your mind was already kind of like not there. So your action can't really be there either, even if you force yourself to be there. And that is why it's important to come and learn the 7-step transformation blueprint that will give you a framework on how to really answer from a place of real strength, not just from a place of memorizing your script. So these steps include, number 1, overcoming your self-sabotaging habits. So how do you stop yourself from constantly saying, oh, I don't really know how to answer this? And number 2, how do you create a compelling why so that every time somebody questions your intention, you already have a strong foundation to explain to them that this is my why, and this is why I'm going to show you that I can add value to your company. Then number 3, you want to be showing people your unique selling points, meaning that what differentiates you from other candidates with more skills than you? It's not only because you know your why, but it's also because you understand how you can come and make your hiring manager's day at work so much more better than it was before they met you, right? And because you know your selling point, you now have a killer strategy that you can execute, not just only in your resume and your cover letter, but also how you talk to recruiters and hiring managers so that if they're not hiring now, they will still think of you 6 months later from today because you left such a strong impression. And because of that, when people talk about you in their networks, they're like, oh yeah, I remember Wati from this, interview. Maybe I should reference her instead because she's so strong in marketing knowledge. And this is when you get the chance to test for trial and errors because now you understand, how do I talk to this person so that I'm not being too waffly or I'm not being too direct, but I just have the right kind of communicating style that just fits with this person. And last, you can then evolve and iterate yourself so that you understand how to adapt your personality and your information to fit each of the interviewers that you are approaching. So that is why instead of you thinking about how can I get the job by answering the questions correctly, it's better that you focus on taking your interviewer on an unforgettable 30 to 50 minutes journey, meaning that you bring them to experience the feeling of, oh, I see, I get this. This makes sense. I trust her, rather than trying to be perfect with your script. And by doing this, you are actually positioning yourself as a value provider, meaning that, Jill's affirmation statement is, I am a value provider. I know that nobody wants to work with an individual whose primary motive is all about taking. So she's saying to herself that my hiring manager would want to spend time with somebody who could make them feel joyful and relaxed. Therefore, I'm going to focus on inspiring, educating, and providing a positive perspective shift of my interviewer through my stories. Because she's providing a perspective shift, she's actually bringing something to the table that the interviewer does not have before they met her. And that is what makes her truly different without even trying too hard. So how is Jill talking to herself? Now she's thinking from a place of strength. She's thinking, how can I be more still so that I can help my interviewers feel relaxed? Or how can I calm my own mental chatter so that I can become confident from within? Or how can I make my interviewers smile more today? Or how can I make my interviewer's day at work feel more pleasant? Now, compared to Bob's subconscious programming, how do you think Jill will perform in the actual interview? Please type in the box or unmute yourself.
Yes, please feel free to unmute yourself because sometimes it's the communication again. There is vastly different. So Vindina gives her answer is vastly different way of coming across, and Nicola is asking to repeat the question.
The question is, now you saw that Ria said Bob's performance is likely to be poor. How do you think Jill will perform in the interview?
So yes, Kemi would say he would come across very confident.
Yes.
Nicola answers that he would come across like a legend. And Emily says, I think he will have he will have a chance to have a better connection with the interviewer.
That's right. And it doesn't matter if he doesn't get the job this time, because maybe the company can't hire now. But because you know that he's thinking like this, he's most likely to leave an impression that people can remember and want to mention when they talk to relevant networks. So then it comes back to things like, what makes you special? So when I did a workshop for platinum accounting, like, I'm sure that it makes you special that you know MYOB skills and you know payroll skills and zero skills. It's great that you know all the technical skills. But what makes you even more special is that you have empathy skills. So for example, if you knew how to use Salesforce, I could also learn how to use Salesforce. So no matter how good you are at using Salesforce or JavaScript or Photoshop, one day if I choose to learn those skills, I can be replaced. You can be replaced by me as well, because I chose to get better with the technical skills. So that no longer makes you that special. But what if you say, you know what, I have, InDesign skills, I have Photoshop and even Salesforce skills. But more than that, I know how to listen to my clients, meaning that I know how to do the technical stuff, but I know how to engage customers so that I can retain profit and encourage repeated sales from people that like me. And even more than that, I have interpersonal skills, meaning that I don't only know how to talk, but I know how to actively listen. I know when to say and I know when to stop so that people feel valued and people feel heard. And that is the kind of connection that you want to not only be building with your hiring managers, but also with their clients, with their existing customers, so that they will always want to come back and spend money with that company, which makes you special and which makes people want to hire you. So it's a combination of these three things. So for example, why am I worthy of this role? I mean, yes, for accounting people like Wati, for example, you may be special because you know month end-to-end skills. You know MYOB and BAS skills, and you know like how to process invoice. Well, to be honest, ever since I did the workshop, I also learned processing invoice, MYOB and BAS and month end-to-end. So maybe I'll be more special than you one day because I'm starting to get the hang of the idea. But the thing is, what makes you unbeatable is all these other elements like active listening, gaining trust, understanding your client, building rapport, and understanding your team is what makes you so worthy, because you're not only knowing how to do the basics, but you have that cherry on top where people want to connect with you because you are you and you're not replaceable. Like, you're not replaceable by the robot. So then it comes back down to, before you even execute the interview, understanding what does your recruiter and your hiring manager want? And for sure, if they are a business, they want to increase their profit. But if you ask me, but then AI and all this machine learning can actually execute the task to increase profit, is machine learning really the thing that increases the company's profit? Like, it's probably not, right? Because the people that operate these machines are responsible for delegating the strategies to retain the customers and build the emotional bonding. So at the end of the day, great companies need amazing team spirit to produce the kind of momentum that would want to allow other people to be a part of their movement, to be a part of their culture. So really, like, business profitability is not just about a great product, it's about creating a culture, a team of people that they want to be a part of you because they're so inspired. And it starts with an amazing staff like yourself. But what makes an amazing team amazing? Like, it starts from individuals with a winning mindset, right? So if an individual has a winning mindset, they're able to contribute values that, okay, there's a challenge this month, COVID just hit, what do we do? Oh, that's okay, we'll pivot the strategies and take everything online, and we're going to make sure that we still sign up 100 customers virtually. And this is a winning mindset that will retain profit. And the question is, how do we position ourselves to be that person who can pivot the strategies, bring value, and not get affected by any kind of changes? And this comes with your 4-step action plan, right? So this is something that I taught to Yishuan. And before Yishuan met me, she actually doesn't have a PR. she didn't have any corporate interview experience, but she's like, I want to try it for PwC and see how I go. So I said to her, you know what? I'm going to teach you how to do it. And it only took her about 2 lessons from me for her to land her job at PwC. So Yishan says, in our training session, Patty asked me to picture the image of me working PwC. And instead of using the STAR method, I actually taught her these 4-step action plan instead, which then she says that, you know, my method of letting the interviewer picture me, her, working with them is an absolutely killer skill, because it's not just about the STAR method. It's about helping other people see how you could come into the company and actually make their day more better, make them become better leaders in the company, make them become better managers because you're improving the KPI, you're improving the benchmark, and it makes you so valuable that people just want to hire you. And it all starts with this 4-step action plan, which is number 1, you answer the question. Number 2, share real life story. Number 3, share your successes. And number 4, you link back to the company. And number 4 is something that people rarely do. And that is the point where people have perfect answers, but they still can't get the job because they don't know how to link back to the company. So let me show you. Oh, actually, before that, I also want to show you, how do you demonstrate yourself so that you are a good fit to the company? You know, for example, what did your previous internship experience teach you? You know, you may say technical skills can always be trained in the organization, but what can't be trained is like your mindset, your willingness to become competent. And what can't be trained is that your willingness to self-reflect and ask yourself, how did my previous experiences make me grow as a person? Because companies don't want just skilled people. They want people that they can actually train so that they get better and better and exponential the company's result, right? So, and that is why it makes you a good fit, because by learning all these skills from your previous experiences, you now know how to mold your personality to fit what they want, and you know how to give their clients what they want based on how you actively listen to other people in the past and bring value to others in the past. So you have these transferable skill sets that you can give to others and produce something that is unique. So then I also want to talk about the ping pong game, because it's important that in the interview, it's not just about you answering 4 to 5 minute long questions, but it's about allowing them to speak, waiting for your turn to speak, and knowing the energy dynamic, which I will show you right now. So before I continue, who here is finding this insightful so far? Can I please get a response? Who's finding this insightful so far?
Yes, we are finding it. Well, I get, yes, very good.
Awesome, that's great.
Yes, thank you.
Cool. So now we're going to see how Bob the Chaser and Jill the Attractor performs in the interview. So let's have a look. So let's say, what brings you here today? Who here actually knows how to answer this question properly? What brings you here today? Anybody?
Feel free to unmute yourselves, ladies and gentlemen.
What brings you here today? How would you say this? Anybody want to have a go?
I have an I would say, well, for example, I'll give if that's an interview and someone says, what brings you here today? I would say, well, I have an interview with such and such. Oh, you mean is it during the interview?
Yes.
Well, oh, yes.
Yeah, see, the reaction is like, oh crap, where do I start? Like I get that too. Like it's like, oh shit, like what do I say first? So this is what Bob would say, the guy that has the weakest subconscious programming, because he didn't really know what he wants in the interview. He will say something like, Deloitte is a very reputable company, and I guess I just want to represent you. That's why I'm here today.
I guess you could say that what brings me here today is my passion.
Yes, is your passion.
What I'm doing and what I'm pursuing. And from what I saw in what you have advertised, what you do really fits within my values and what I'm passionate about. So I wanted to, it's a great opportunity for me to come to an interview and also just to get confirmation.
Yes, that's right.
Fit for each other.
That's right.
That you have power as well. in
So
assessing whether they're a good fit for you, not just you for them.
Yes, that's correct. So based on the answers, who do you think is better? Do you think Anya's response is much better than Bob's response here? If you think Anya's response is so much more better, please type in yes. Yes, we've got yeses?
We have yeses, yes.
That's great. And that's exactly
Thank
how,
you.
and that is this, that comes back down to, because Anya knew what her unique selling point was, she now knows that it's not just you that has the power, but it's also me that can bring value to the table, because I also know my why. I know why I'm here today. And that is why Jill says, well, I saw in your job description that you are looking for a versatile individual with all the technical skill sets that I have, experience executing at my previous internship. For example, back at my experience in platinum accounting, I was able to practice going from only 30 invoices a day to 60 invoices per day. This was something that really brought efficiency to the organization. Because of this, my managers recognized my talent and trained me in other skill sets that makes my skills so much more versatile for the accounting industry, such as other soft skills and client negotiation skills. And I just thought that this was something that I could continue to add value into Deloitte's graduate accounting team, since I believe that these are the characteristics of an individual who could further bring positive impact to Deloitte. So how would you feel if you were the person that's interviewing Jill? Just with this answer. Anybody?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and it's actually I'm reading it slightly. I'm looking at it slightly different. It has a little bit of NLP, neuro linguistic programming, in the answers.
Yeah, so you can feel the difference straight away, right? That it's just one answer, but like, man, I feel confident in her because even just the first answer was like, wow, value to the table and very specific, just like the way Anya put it just then. So then what if I ask you, tell me about yourself? Tell me about yourself. Let's see how Bob responds to this. So Bob says, I'm Bob. I graduated from Macquarie Universities in Masters of Accounting, and I also worked at Platinum internship 3 months. And yeah, based on this, you will already feel like you either go positive or negative. And I'm pretty sure that you would go towards the negative route with Bob, right? Because 2 questions and he cannot produce any substance. And that is because he hasn't figured out what his unique selling point is. So he doesn't know how to develop a killer strategy that will fit the organization's value. So let's have a look at how we could actually really answer this in a way where, like, what do I really talk about? And I tell my clients that it's better that you add professional experience plus voluntary experience plus outside interest in a very concise way so that you show yourself that you are versatile. You're not just an accounting graduate, but you have voluntary experiences leading the team, and you also have passion towards something else outside of numbers. So let's see how Jill would respond. So Jill will say, after completing my Masters of Finance degree from UCIT in accounting, I've worked at Platinum Accounting Australia as an intern, where I have experience doing BAS, account reconciliation, cost center reporting, and day-to-day invoice. And the thing is, she also gives a positive spin to it. So she told us that she did technical stuff from a previous internship. And she says, it was an amazing experience because I really learned a lot, not only about the technical skill sets, but also how to work effectively with my team. Outside of this, I was also a part of the China Entrepreneur Network in Sydney, which helped guide international students on how to leverage their network to land their dream jobs. And wow, I also really enjoyed my experience here because I really understood how to put emotional intelligence in use and bring out the greatest strength from my team. And by the way, outside of this, I also love sports. One of my favorites is soccer, and I regularly play at the locals team in the weekend. So as a person interviewing Jill, how do you feel about her?
The interviewer would feel like she knows Jill a lot better, not just her qualifications, but a bit of her character.
You have a character. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Anyone else?
I also have a question from
Yes.
Zuhaib.
Yes.
Zuhaib, would you like to answer to ask the question yourself? To unmute yourself and
Yes, recently in some interview, the interview panel, they said that they had a lot of candidates and they don't have a lot of time to interview me. So
Yeah,
they just asked that all my answers should be in 2 lines or 2 sentences, very precise and concise.
that's
So
fine.
in this regard, so I can't explain my experience and 4-star answer in this regard. So please explain.
That's great. If they only give you 2 sentences, then clearly you're not even caring about the content as much as your delivery, how you deliver it. So, for example, all I have to say is, so what was your name again? Sorry?
Zohaib.
Zohi? So, for example, I'm Zohi. I did Masters of Finance and degree in UC in accounting, and I have some experience doing some BAS, account reconciliation, and day-to-day invoice. I would love the opportunity to work with you, as all of my previous experience as listed is relevant to the job description that I saw. So I'm looking forward to working with you. And that's it, a 2-line. But the energy, the delivery, and the way you make it very concise and match the job description will make you stand out, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
I also tried to give similar type of answers, but at the end I didn't get a call from them.
That's
Maybe.
fine. It's okay because it's number one, it's got to do with the fit with the job description, but it also has to do with the energy, the way you execute those answers. So let's keep going first, and then you'll probably know what I mean. So why did you choose this company? So let's just say like this was like similar to Zoe's case, and it's got only 2 lines. And Bob Chaser says, I guess that Deloitte has a very good culture fit. And then he copies and pastes the website's values. And the thing is, it's not just even about what he says, but it's about how confident he is in what he knows. If you're truly confident, you can deliver anything in 2 or 1 line as well. So, for example, Jill would say, let me answer this in 2 words. So Jill would say, why do you choose this company? One of my vision is to be a part of a team culture that embraces diversity and encourages one to speak up their idea and make it come to life. Because our values align, the things I saw in your job description, I'm confident that I could not only give you my best performance, but also grow as an individual and give this value back to younger people who wishes to pursue their careers here. So that was just 2 lines. How did you guys feel about that? Did you guys feel like this was a confident answer in 2 lines?
please unmute yourselves if you would like to share your feedback. I thought it was great. I thought it hit.
Thank you. So my point being is if they ever shoot you with this kind of thing, you just condense it down to number 1, answer the question, and number 4, link back to the company straight away. But if you have time to actually interact, then you could include point 2, which is, for example, when I was part of the China Entrepreneur Network Sydney, I was able to grow so much from being a part of a culture that encouraged me to bring my ideas forward and share this with the community. As a result, I had a clearer vision of who I currently am and who I aspire to become, which also allowed me to understand what kind of values I could bring to your organization to drive great results. And then you link it back again, because our values align, blah, blah, blah. So my point being is that the purpose of point 2 and 3 is just to elaborate. But if you don't have time for that, just link it straight away and answer with like a lot of confidence. So can you see the picture now that clearly Jill can bring profit because it seems like she would bring amazing team spirit because clearly she has a winning mindset. Can you guys see that? Yes, that's great. So let me do this question. Tell me about your previous experience. Let's see what Bob says. So Bob says, I've learned the trainings like MYOB, Excel, but I also learned about accounts handling and I'm taught to do some accounting stuff. And clearly he doesn't know what his unique selling point is. So he never had the opportunity to test and trial for errors. So he hasn't really evolved and iterate. So he just knows MYOB and Excel and that's it. because it didn't evolve when you iterate. But what about Jill? So Jill says, sure, during my internship experience at Platinum Accounting, I have learned to use various software such as MYOB, BAS, processing accounting invoice, and also do back end-to-end activities. So these experiences were great because I also learned how to deal effectively with my stakeholders while learning these skills. For example, I would be communicating to internal stakeholders about the problems that they face with their system while utilizing all these accounting skills I've learned to increase efficiency for their team. As a result, I'm able to understand what kind of software works best for people who are faced with different problems, which makes me feel more confident about providing outstanding customer service. So I'm sure that with my previous experience of understanding how to adapt the appropriate software to suit the client's needs, I can also do the same for Deloitte's accounting team, right? So she's not going too long, but not going too short. How do you feel about her answer? Yes, that's great. So I'll quickly do the last one so that we can do a bit of mock interview. Now, the last one is, what is your weakness? What is your weakness? This is something that really throws people off because they'll be like, should I be a perfectionist and not tell them my real weakness? Or should I be a bit vulnerable? So let's see how Bob answers. So Bob says, my weakness is, I don't deal very well with pressure and I'm not really sure. I guess I'd get scared when I'm not prepared, but I don't really know. Pressure is somebody's weakness for sure. And you can be honest, but if you don't know your unique selling point, you haven't evolved and iterated, and you don't know what your self-sabotaging habits are, which is the weak subconscious programming, you can't communicate your weakness without being weak. So let's see how we can communicate our weakness, but still be strong. So Jill says, one of my weaknesses is working under pressure. I tend to become less proactive when I'm faced with uncertain situations. However, I have learned to overcome this fear by not panicking and instead take my time to focus on the solutions. For example, when I was assigned a task at Platinum Accounting that was due before the expected deadline, I took the time to re-strategize my plan and communicate the ideas to my team carefully. Because I focused more on finding solutions, my team was able to find confidence in me and listen to my thought processes very carefully. Since our strategy had clarity, we were able to work cooperatively during the deadline and still execute outstanding work. Our customers are very happy with the result and continue to use our service again. Well, since I understand how to take control of my emotions and find confidence in myself by taking things slowly, I'm confident that I could bring the same set of strategies to Deloitte's team during busy season and ensure that our team stays on top of the game. Now, when I asked you, can you see Jill coming to Deloitte to increase their profit? Do you really believe that Jill can increase Deloitte's profit based on these 4 answers?
I believe Jill, yes.
Yes? Anyone want to type yes?
Yes.
Yes? Yeah. So this is the difference between Bob and Jill. It's not just the answer, but it's the delivery, like how confident you are in yourself because you know yourself. And in this case, you also might see, well, how do I actually prepare? This is really easy. If you can't prepare like 70 questions that are likely to appear, then you base your answers on these 5 stories for the behavioral style interview, which is a time where you solved a problem, or you have used self-awareness and constructive criticism to improve your work, or you tell a story about when you expand outside of your comfort zone by taking initiatives to learn new skills, or you tell a story on when you have adapted to different working style and work effectively with the team, or you tell a story about a time where you increase the profit and improve customer retention by providing outstanding customer service. So these are the 5 stories that if you can anchor this into just these 5 things, I'm pretty sure anybody would be like, oh, she's really impressive. I want to work with her. I'll consider her for next month when the job position is open. So the do's is emphasize on the outcomes, achievement, award, or the results you produce, but don't try to force the conversation to sound perfect because people don't want to talk to rigid people. They want to talk to relaxed people. And no matter if you just say 1 sentence or 2 sentences, like, hi, I'm Patty, nice to meet you. I currently do interview coaching and I'm really excited to be here. it already feels like, yes, relax. I want to keep talking to her. So, and this is what also happened with Manisha, who succeeded with only one night to prepare. So I told Manisha to just like structure the story and try to picture herself already working EY, and also help her interviewer picture her working with them and how great the results will be. And as a result, she got the job with like less than 24 hours preparation, and she got the job within 1 week time. So this is possible for everyone who planted the right seed into their own mind, which Manisha absolutely did. So I'm going to skip this part because I really want to do the mock interview with you guys. So mock interview, does anybody have questions they would like to interview me? Anybody?
Oh,
You
this
can
is a
ask
good
me any
part.
question.
Suppose you have 5 years of experience in some field, and interviewer asks you, did you help someone in your task? So very simple and I mean personal questions. So how will you answer it?
Okay, so the question was, since you have 5-year experience working at Platinum Accounting, did you tell me a time when you helped your team member? Is that the question?
Yes.
Yes. So what's your name, sorry?
So hey,
Soheeb. So during my past 5 years experience at Platinum Accounting, I not only learned all the required accounting skills, but I really understood empathy skills. I understood how to actively listen when I used to be the head of the team. So as a team lead, I needed to understand what people's strengths and weaknesses were. When somebody felt too pressured for the deadline, I actually had to learn how to help her feel more calm and relaxed so that she could embrace her strength and actually, do everything by the deadline. Because I understood how to communicate effectively with my team, I then saw the results actually become from 10% conversion rate to 30% conversion rate by the end of the month, because I understood how to empathize with people that are struggling. Therefore, Zoe, as a manager of KPMG, I believe that this is an important skill set for a team lead. And I believe that this would make you have a great fit like myself, because I have experience bringing efficiency to the team by empathizing. So yeah, how do you feel about that answer?
I think, Zoeb says that you're hired. And what I noticed that you use specific language structure with every answer. Would that be correct? Patty?
And this answer wasn't planned. Oh, I just like said whatever I felt. So it wasn't even planned. Like I kind of structured it 2 months ago, but it came up at the top of my head.
It became automatic.
Yes, it became automatic, but the language I want to emphasize is empathy skills.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Empathy skills, actively listening to my team, helping her feel relaxed and calm, as a result, improving from 10% profit to 30% profit.
Mm-hmm.
So the process and action is what I emphasize.
Yes.
And my sentence wasn't perfect, but at least I got my main points down, and that's all that matters.
Yes, it was pretty good. It was very convincing and very persuasive, because what you did, you took actually, a big idea or the concept, and you drilled down into key points.
Yeah.
And you expanded on the key points, and they all had link, because, therefore, which makes, and this means, and leads to that. So they all link to that. So I just, So now this is very good, yes, because that definitely brings, creates that lead in the story and shows the journey, and it's definitely very useful in the interview. So using the big idea and then breaking it down into 3 key points or 5.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just explaining a little bit, maybe, because I think language is very powerful. I mean, delivery definitely makes it or breaks it, I think.
Yes.
But yes, the words that you used, yes, and you're doing it beautifully.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other interview questions?
I've got a question, Patty.
Yes.
I was asked this twice before. Could you give an example of how you came across a difficult situation and you used your problem-solving skills to help your company?
Yes. So back in my previous accounting experience at Platinum for 4 years, I have came across a lot of times where I needed to meet the deadline. But one of my weaknesses is actually dealing with pressure. So I learned over time, how can I leverage my network so that they could help me understand the task faster than using me to learn everything by myself. So as a result, I learned how to build interpersonal skills so that when I needed help, I could ask somebody that was already specialized in MYOB or Zero to teach me how to understand it faster. And as a result, I was able to go from spending 4 hours trying to figure out the solution on my own to now condensing it down to just 2 hours of understanding what to do next, only because I leveraged my network and know how to use my time efficiently. As a result, my students were so happy with me because I had versatile skills. I not only knew how to communicate, but I know MYOB and Zero in depth, and they really appreciated that. You know what? I believe that at your company in EY, there is a lot of time where we have to adapt and deal with pressure like this. But with effective way of communicating with people and knowing how to prioritize your time, we could really improve our customer experience and make everybody happy because we are organized and we know how to do our projects in an effective way. Does that answer the question?
Yes, I think you started off by sharing your weakness and then how you overcame that weakness and grew as well while solving the problem. So I think that's a very impressive answer.
Thank you.
That's great that people now can start seeing how it can,
how it's applied.
Yes, how to apply, yes, by using it, like breaking it down into structure, you know, how they can, and simplify. So even if even if the interviewer asks something that's that you don't know how to answer, you can still find the answer because you already have 5 stories, right?
Yes.
Patty recommended, and you think, okay, I'll just twist that. Well,
yeah, twist.
Not twist. Yes, use that story because it will still have relevance.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Great.
Anybody else with interview questions?
Yes.
Yes, what is
I have
it?
a question. Yes. I came across a question. It say that, are you willing to stay late at the office until? Oh, are you willing to stay late at the office until late to complete your task? Because we all know that in real life we want a work-life balance. How do you answer this question?
Okay. All right, Wati. So you are the manager at PwC. You know what, Wati? There were a lot of times when my friends tell me about how they have to overtime. And I don't exactly believe in sacrificing your health to get work done, but I actually really believe in leveraging your time by knowing how to intensely focus so that I could get 80% of the task done in only 2 hours rather than procrastinate and get 60% of the task done in 4 hours. I understand that if I create a system for this inside of myself by actually learning what to do outside of my working hour, such as meditation, mindful meditation, learning how to develop my focus and only doing my very best at the moment that's given to me so that I can increase my productivity in less time, it means that I don't have to spend the rest of the 4 hours working ineffectively, but rather I would train myself outside of my working hour to increase my focus so I can get the task done for you in the time that's required. However, if it's really important that I must stay back, I will stay back. But the thing is, if I had the option to train myself to get better and better at getting things done in the fastest and most efficient way, I would rather do that so that I could preserve my energy to input better visions into the company's team and make sure that we are always staying afloat because I'm always healthy and always contributing value to the team. How's that sound?
Amazing. Thank you.
Brilliant, brilliant. You also, what you did, you showed you're flexible at the end, that you have flexibility, yet you drew clear boundaries.
Yeah, that's right.
That you have power as well. And it's, yes. Oh, beautifully done.
Yep. The next one.
I found it's kind of similar to the one that you just answered, but so in one of the positions that I'm interviewing for, it's based around events management. So it's a lot of different events that might happen in the evenings or on weekends. And so I think one of the questions that might come up is, what's your view on working irregular work hours? I was just wondering how you might answer this type of question.
Okay, so let's pretend that you are, what is the company you're applying for?
It's called Free Flow. It's quite a small company based in Singapore.
Singapore. Okay, let's just pretend that this was, let's just say Sephora, and I'm doing like an evening night for Sephora. So what is your view on regular working time? To be honest, I believe that it's important that we break down our strategies and see what is the most important task that needs to be finalized before this one evening before the launch. How do we position ourselves in a way where we don't end up, packing everything on the last minute and having to stay overnight to do the next day launch? Like, how do we actually strategize that for 3 hours in each of these weeks, we will get every single thing done, 90% of it finalized, so that when it comes to the real launching date, we actually have the energy to focus on improving customer experience. Because when it comes to event management, it's not about making the night perfect. It's about delivering an exceptional experience to your customers, right? The customer is never going to know if you're 30 minutes late unless the event's already not started yet. But if you're 30 minutes behind on something and they're still enjoying themselves in that event, they would not even realize that you guys had to shift your plan and make things different for them. So instead of focusing on, oh, should I work regular hours and should I get things right? How about we focus on getting whatever basic we need to get done, and then using the rest of the time on how to improve the customer engagement, improve the quality of their experience during this event, so that they will go and tell their friends about it, how much they enjoyed our event, despite the hiccups that we might experience in the background. Now, how do you think about this?
That sounds like a really, really great answer, actually.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I think yeah, it was an amazing answer, but I think
Thank you.
You might have misunderstood me. I meant working irregular work hours. So like
irregular, that's right.
Yeah, so like at the actual event itself.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not so sure how this question would be phrased, but
so the same thing. The same thing, right? Like, how do you feel about working irregular hours? Working irregular hours work fine with me, but my priority is that I want to get the basics of the event right. I want to get the first delivered on time. I want everybody to make sure that they have the souvenir to take home. Everybody knows what role they are doing, and everybody is enjoying themselves, not just the customers, but also our team, because our priority is to bring great energy to the event so that we can improve quality experience for the customers. Now, if this requires me to stay overtime for a night or two, I'm more than happy to do that. But I would prefer that we actually center our whole plan around customer experience and then break down all the mini tasks that we have to do so that we don't have to burn ourselves out last minute. And you know what? If we can also do this, it doesn't matter if we have to work irregular hours, as long as we try our best to get everything done from the start, and then we focus the end towards improving the experience. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds really great.
Thank
actually,
you.
That sounds like an amazing answer.
Yeah. So it's about twisting and turning your answer in a way where you're not an interviewee, but you're the actual person that's providing a solution. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else? We can take a last one since it's... Anybody want to have a go?
If nobody else has anything, then I want to
Sure.
ask another one as well.
Yep.
So what would you say if you wanted to answer the question, what would your coworkers say about you?
What is the truth for you? What's the truth?
What do you mean?
Do you know what your coworkers say about you in your case?
Probably not.
Probably not. Oh, if you don't know. Okay, so this is if you don't know. All right. Okay. So what's your name again? Sorry.
Emily.
Ellie. So
Emily. Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't exactly know what my coworkers say about me because I don't really, communicate with them too much outside of our working time. But what I do know, what my manager would say about me, my close manager who I communicate with time to time is that I'm reliable, I can get things done on time, and I also work very efficiently. I observe this through the way she gives me feedback when we do weekly evaluations. Also, when I carry out specific tasks, I would also always see her giving me feedbacks like, well done, Emily, you have done this on time. So I presume that even though I don't know what my whole coworker thinks about me, I do know that my close managers believe that I'm very reliable, I can get things done on time, and I'm also efficient. And I believe that I could do the same thing for your company, meaning that I focus on creating a very good solution for people that are close to me and let the word speak for itself to other co-workers, if you know what I mean. How's that answer sound?
That sounds really good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it has the 4 core structures, but it's really flexible and you twist it around to make it fit. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like how you linked it back to the company at the end and said,
Yes.
this is, and this is what I could do for you.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So since it's 5:30 in Melbourne.
Yes, does anyone have, would you mind if we just checked if anyone has any questions?
Yes, one question. Do you have any book recommendations where we can brush up?
Yes, I want to ask you, when you ask me that, what is your interest?
Well, I do want to develop my interview skills because I am applying for jobs and it'll eventually come up interviews.
So you mean like interview books?
No, books do improve my skills on answering interview questions, communication skills, let's say, like linking at those 4 steps like you just mentioned.
I really want to say that I already read my own book on this. So if you would like it, I can send my book. But if you would like to read like books that are like formally published, I read How to Win Friends and Influence People to improve my soft skills, to be honest. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie.
Yeah, I'm reading that book right now.
Yes. And if you already have that, there's so many list of books. Things like The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy, or even 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Now, these books don't fully tell you like step 1, 2, 3, 4 interview skills, but they give you the bigger picture of how to take mini steps. But if you want the 4 steps, I can send you my book, which I wrote specifically on that.
Oh, okay. That'd be great.
Yeah. Because I kind of came up with this, so I'm not really sure where to find it. But I did write about it in my book. Yeah.
That just means you've got everything there in that book.
Yes, it's in the book.
Okay, thank you.
So Patty, would you like, thank you very much. Sorry for interrupting. So would you like me to ask everyone who attended to send me
email
their details, and then I will send you the email? How would you like it?
Yes, that'll be great. Just like the email, and then I can send you some booklets and books.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Okay.
Should we do the screenshots?
Oh, yes, thank you very much for reminding. Yes, if you stop, I guess, sharing the screen, we can certainly do the screenshots. Yes, if everyone would like to.
Thank you again, everyone, for coming.
Yes, thank you very much. Have you taken the picture, Patty?
Yes, let me take the picture now. Would you like to turn on your camera, everyone else?
I don't know what's wrong with my camera. Why is my face not showing up?
You can press the stop video and start video icon.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Fabulous. Okay, thank you very much. First of all, thank you very much, Patty,
Thank
for
you.
doing this dynamic, valuable presentation and giving such sharp answers. You're definitely an interview winner, and giving the insights to us, and that was absolutely brilliant, and I hope we'll see you back in the future doing something different. And as you rightly said, a lot of it depends on our mindset and whether we're confident in ourselves, and if we're not confident, sometimes it can project. So next week, what I will do a workshop on confidence. For example, even if you do have ironclad confidence in yourself, but you know someone who doesn't, you can still attend and use some tips. I will share with some long-term tips for long-term strategy and some short-term strategies, like for example, preparing for interview or doing something unfamiliar where you need to summon your best self and just go ahead with full guns blazing. So please register if you're interested. I will share with you their link, and I will also share with you the link to the video of Amy Cuddy. I'm sure Patty may be familiar. It's using your body language, because it's very important to go to the interview not contracting oneself, because that's puts us in flight mode, but actually go with expanded posture and use our breathing, to get ourselves centered. And Amy Cuddy, she gives fabulous tips on how to do that. One of them is power pose. It's, for example, you go to the bathroom, you stand there for 60 minutes. Oh, sorry, 60 seconds, not 60 minutes. And it actually puts you in the right space, because our physiology affects psychology and our psychology affects our physiology. So next week, I'll give some tips on our confidence and how to work with that. And particularly if you're working with someone, or you're managing even someone, or it's you, because sometimes our confidence goes through stages when we can be confident personally, but not confident in our professional skills, or vice versa. So yes, if you're interested, please attend. I will share the tip on, I will share the links both on Amy Cuddy and the link to the next event. So that will be, if you're interested, check it out and
thank you.
RSVP, and it will be great to have you there. And thank you very much, everyone, for attending and being here tonight. And Patty, thank you very much for being a superstar and for doing this awesome presentation.
Thank you again.
Yes, it was fabulous.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thank
you.
Good
Have
night.
a good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.